Hello and welcome to Soda Review Channel, where today we'll be drinking this Fanta Peach, a soda that I have pretty low expectations for, honestly, because I think it's probably just going to be a lot of artificial peach flavor and not much else, and probably be very candy-like, and that's not really my preference in a soda. So I don't expect to be a big fan of this one, but we're going to find out. Um, it is very similar in color profile to an American Fanta Orange. I do have to specify an American one because for those of you that don't know, uh, American Fanta Orange and I think maybe literally every other country's Fanta Orange are wildly different colors. Um, and it needs to be the color of the American one because otherwise it has no soul. Anyway, Um, it makes sense that it's similar in color profile because it is made this color with the same dyes, yellow 6 and red 40. There's not a ton else in here. Carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, natural flavors, citric acid, sodium benzoate to protect taste, and the aforementioned yellow 6 and red 40. Citric acid is slightly odd to me because this is peach, which is not a citrus at all. Um, but I guess citric acid is better than if they had put fuzz in it. Let's let's see what we've got here. I mean, I um don't have a whole lot to say. I don't think I've ever had one of these before. It has been around for a reasonable while. We weren't able to find an especially good source, but the things that we did find said that this drink originates somewhere around the year 2000. I could smell it as soon as I opened it, but let's get it deeper. Okay. I'm definitely getting a peachiness from it, but I haven't examined it thoroughly enough yet to determine if it's more of an artificial or natural peach like flavor. It is worth noting that I am not a huge fan of peaches, although they have grown on me in recent years. Wow, when you put it in a slightly thinner container, that looks mildly radioactive. I will not accept any slander of American Fanta Orange in the comments. That's different. It's supposed to look like that. This feels unnatural, though. This is not a double standard at all. Trust me on that one. I definitely know what I'm talking about. Aside from the fact that it looks like this is going to give me radiation poisoning, it does look very cool, actually. It's pretty clear without a ton of bubbles in it, so you can very much see things through it extremely well. But it's giving them an interesting orange tint. I like that color quite a lot. Let's smell that again and see if it smells more natural or artificial. This does include natural flavors and does not list any artificial flavoring, but what exactly constitutes a natural flavor is perhaps overly broad. I would say that they've done a solid job on the smell. They have managed to get a smell that is quite like an actual peach. Um, My expectations for this have improved slightly because if they can get the smell, maybe they can get the taste. And if this manages to taste like actual peaches instead of gummy peach rings, like most of the peach flavored things that make it onto this channel do, I'll be pretty impressed. I probably still won't really want another one because I am not a huge peach fan. Um, but I'll be impressed. So let's see what we've got. Okay, that's freaky. That is impressively peachy. Before I opened this, I really wasn't expecting that, and even after I noticed how peachy it smelled, I still wasn't really prepared for it to actually kind of taste like peaches. I was very much expecting that sort of peach candy flavor. It's also very, very smooth. It feels nice in the mouth. It does taste surprisingly like an actual peach. Same for the smell. I I think my opinion of this is shaping up to be a little higher than I expected. It is very smooth in the mouth. It does go down very smoothly. Even if I'm not the biggest fan of peach, I think that this drink has a great texture. Um, I probably care more about the texture of soda than I would guess at least 99.9% of the population, maybe even a couple more orders of magnitude. And I think that this one is pretty good. Yeah, I really like the texture. This is a great texture. The taste is, I mean, they've done a pretty good job making a somewhat natural taste, or actually a fairly natural tasting peach flavor. They've done similarly with the smell, and the texture is great. I know I am going on about the texture probably way more than you could ever care to, average internet denizen. Uh, but a lot of soda has very similar texture, and this one is kind of a standout. Um, and that doesn't happen that often. The most recent one that comes to mind is the Coca Cola Holiday Creamy Vanilla, which at this point came out, or well, the video came out 7.5, 8 months ago, which at this point is most of the life of this YouTube channel. And this one, I can already tell you, is going to get an increased score just because of this texture. This is fantastic. Back to the taste, though. I am certain, not to my memory ever having had any, that this does not taste exactly like peach juice. And it does say here, contains no juice, which I would expect from an American Fanta product. And Yeah, it doesn't taste exactly like what I would think peach juice would taste like, but it does taste a lot more like an actual peach than I was expecting. I do think it's a good flavor. And again, I don't even like peaches that much. Um, I am coming to appreciate them more over time, but they're still not one of my favorite fruits. And I still think that this has a pretty good taste. I think it has an exceptional texture. But it is still peach. And for me, that's going to be a limiting factor. Um, for you, that may be an upside. And if that's the case, you're probably going to think this is amazing. And I certainly think that it's better than all the other peach things we've had on the channel before. Um, the only ones I can think of are the Fanta White Peach from Japan, and then the Peach Coca Cola from China that we had. I think this is way better than both of those drinks. And if you're here in the US, it's going to be a fair bit easier to get because this is a domestic product. Um, that said, this is still a pretty uncommon drink to find. And so I do think if you really enjoy this, you're probably not going to get to have one very often unless you stock up on them or you just happen to live near a store that stocks it. Good flavor, great texture. But for me, the fact that it's a good peach flavor is probably going to hold it back just a little bit. And I think that means that despite the texture and despite the goodness of the flavor, I think they have done a really great job of giving it a natural peach flavor. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you like peaches, and you like soda, I think you're probably going to think that this is super amazing and fantastic. But even with the great texture, for me, being peach does mean that I am just going to have to give it a good.